Hi there. I'm going to show you how to use the Worksite Learning app on for Shasta College. And the first thing, to get to this website, you would type in WSL, hey, that stands for Worksite Learning, wsl.shastacollege.edu. When you type that in, wsl.shastacollege.edu, you'll come to this screen. Now on this screen, uh, you will click student, because that's what you are, and you'll type in the username and your password, and then you'll click login. And as you click login, then this page will come up with the Worksite Learning. Now, one thing I want to point out, it was on the last page as well, but way over on the right, there's this help up here. That's really valuable. If I hit the little down arrow next to it, it shows the student guide, Worksite Supervisor Guide, Instructor Guide, and your Worksite Learning Program Agreement, what you're agreeing to when you're doing Worksite Learning. The Student Guide, when I click on it, is very helpful. It gives, first of all, it gives job setup information, how to do it, and then it gives a point-by-point instructions on how to do everything in your Worksite Learning app. And so it's very comprehensive, and you'll probably want to look at it and read through it. But in this case, I'm going to go back on the main page. I'm going to click Go to Jobs. Now, there's one job listed because that's your job. And I'm just going to click right here on the job. This will bring up this jobs page. It says the word job here. It's the jobs page. Make sure the year, semester, your name. Now, it needs a job title. Now, job title is there because the law requires us to get a job title. You may have a job title for your job. You may not know a job title. If you don't know one, you can always type in intern, or you could type in, I don't know, customer service rep, or whatever your job might be. So just whatever it is. I'll just type in intern for now. Now the next thing is Worksite, and this is blank. What we have to do is we have to find your Worksite. And when I say find, there are other students also taking Worksite Learning, and every time someone adds somebody, it goes into a big list. So the first thing we have to check on is whether or not your supervisor is in the list. And I'm going to click this magnifying glass here to search. And when I search, it brings up a whole list of possible work sites. And you can search by email, you can search by different things. And I'm going to just go for Acme Company. I'm just going to do a partial Acme. And oh, look, there's an Acme Company with a supervisor name of Jane Public. Another good one to search on is email address, if you know your supervisor's email address. But in this case, I'm going to click on the Acme Company, and I'm going to come up and click the Select button. Now, if your company and your worksite is not to be found in the big long list, then what you want to do is you will want to click on the New button and add your company. To add your company, you're going to need their name, their address, our supervisor's name, the phone number, and most importantly, the supervisor's email address. And you want to be very careful you type in that email address exactly, because that email address will become the supervisor's login in the future. In this case, I'm just going to select this, and that's the Acme Company. Then you keep going down this left side, and the question is it a paid position or not? Well, in this case, I'll say yes. What's the difference? Well, a paid position requires you to work 75 hours for each one unit you're getting in the semester. The unpaid position requires you to work 60 hours. Then we come up here with a start date and an end date. If you're not sure the start date and end date, you could put in the beginning date and the ending date for the semester. But in this case, I'm just going to say, well, let's use, or you can start on today's date since you're starting. But the end date might be August the 6th, might be the end date. And notice it popped up exactly how many weeks that is. Then when I click in here, how many hours per week am I going to be working? Well, let me think. Do I have a 40-hour-a-week job? Do I have a 20-hour-a-week job? I'm going to work 10 hours a week. In this case, I'm going to say I'm going to work 20 hours a week, and that'll give you my total hours. So then we come to our first check. Are the total hours more than what's required? Well, I have 160 total hours. I have 1 unit for a paid position, which is 75 hours, and that would be 75 required, and 160 is more than 75, so I can continue. If I only had 74 or 73 listed here, the program will not let me do other things, won't let me check approvals and such. Okay, so here comes the next thing. The most important button in this program is the Save button. So I'm going to go up to Save, and I'm going to click Save. Now notice once I click Save, this second tab popped up called Objectives. The Objectives tab, or we're going to type in my objectives. Now, when I click on it, it gives a place for my objectives. I can click on each one and type something in. This is my first objective. And the thing we need to know is if you're doing 4 objectives or doing however many objectives your supervisor and your instructor require, there are 4 boxes here, and there has to be something written in every single one of the boxes. Now, in writing an objective, remember, an objective is something you're going to learn or something you're going to do, something you're going to accomplish. What are you going to be doing? What are you going to be accomplishing during this work period? It's not, an objective is not just kind of a vague saying, because what's going to happen is your supervisor is going to have to judge how you did on that objective. So an objective would not be happier or smile more at the customers, because there's no way for the supervisor to measure that really. So think about what kind of objectives you have. But the important thing here is with each of these objectives, you need to put something. Oh, I have to save it, don't I? So let me save it. Save. And then I have to click my second objective, and this is my second. Let's save. And what you need to know here is with each of these objectives, you have to fill out all 4. If I only have 1 or 2 objectives, then if I hit 3, I can always type in NA, save, and 4, I can click in NA and save, and then I have all 4 filled out. Once I have all 4 of these filled out, I can go back and click on my job again, and then I can click my student approval box. Once I click my student approval box, that will lock everything I've put in so far. Then you will need to tell your supervisor that their supervisor needs to review to make sure your objectives are good. Your supervisor has to come in and on their account, which is the email address that they have, and they will have to check the supervisor approval box. After that, the instructor needs to come in, review your objectives, make sure everything is good, and they will check the instructor approval box. After all 3 approval boxes are checked, then up here where it says job and objectives, a timesheet will appear. And the timesheet is where you will type in the hours. And you will type in the hours you worked, and you will approve them, because that little check mark is your signature saying, yes, I really did that, and I'm being very honest. And then your supervisor at some point will also go in and check those hours to confirm that you really did work those hours. There's also a place for you to turn in a report, and there's a place for your supervisor to do an evaluation of your work. And so with that, I hope that helps you understand the Worksite Learning application better.